All right. Let Ryan Chief real quick. We're back again. This is usually called Couch Talk, but Table Talk for the day.
Island
Since
talk.
we only got two of us, so we don't really need a whole couch. So let's start off with some main topics that we've been having.
Free agency just started.
Yep. What's always the biggest name in free agency?
LeBron James.
Yep. And what happened yesterday or over this last weekend between him and Bosch?
I think they got in a little fight. Not in a fight, but
Man, he's trying to start an imaginary off top. All right.
TMZ
Yeah.
is gonna be on there.
Apparently, him and Bosch had a convo. They hashed some stuff out, and after that convo, Bosch is seriously considering
Leaving
going to Houston. So, what does that mean for LeBron?
I don't know why all of this talk between LeBron and Bosch has been happening, when in my personal opinion, the weak link for Miami and holding up their cap space is Dwayne Wade.
And I think that's why they're talking to each other. They're probably like, let's ditch this guy because he's holding us hostage.
They're saying we're young.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all the same age. I mean, they're all the same age. I think
Wade's old. Wade's about
Wade's like a
32,
year or
33,
two, yeah.
and then Bosch and Bron are closer.
But health wise, LeBron and Chris Bosh have been steady throughout their Miami careers.
Yeah, Bosch, he hasn't fallen off at all. He's just taken the sacrifice, which is admirable, and that's why all these other teams want to offer him the max because they know what he's capable of still.
Yeah.
Because he's fully capable of being that player.
I think it's more Miami wants to do the trustworthy thing. You know, they drafted Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade brought him their first ring with Shaq, and then they brought this team over to support Dwayne Wade. And if they just drop him now because his health's declining, it'll look bad on a character part.
Just like a loyalty contract.
Yes.
That's all it is.
I just don't think Dwayne Wade is in the position to be asking for a max contract.
And he knows that, and I read he's only looking to take about 55 to 60 mil, which honestly I think is fair, but I think they know that if they take the contracts that they know that they're worth, I mean I just read that they're going to get Granger and McRoberts.
I did see the McRoberts reports. I didn't see the Granger reports yet.
So that's nice, but I think they know that the pieces that they're able to get with the contract space that they've taken up, it's just not going to be sufficient.
They only have, I think, two players on contract, which is Norris Cole and Shabazz Napier, which Shabazz is just one of their draft picks. But you have 2 point guards. You have, I think it was like $68 million in cap space. Mm-hmm. If you give 2 max players, you're still going to have that, 15 to 18 million to build a good team around. And if you're thinking LeBron James and Chris Bosh are your star players with, we discussed this last time, Shabazz Napier we think can be a great quality point guard in that Miami Heat system. Mm-hmm. That's plenty of money to get, you have the mid-level as well. So you have, closer to 20, 25 million. Because you can use all your cap space and still have that mid-level exception.
Yeah, I agree. I see LeBron right now in his house, just sitting there, just menacing, watching them sweat, knowing that his plan's all coming into fruition. He wants out. That's a guarantee. He's looking for any reason to get out, but the only way he's going to get out is if they take off first, so he doesn't look like the villain. He needs to look like the victim. But he's got to know that if Dwayne Wade stays, unless they all leave, if Dwayne Wade stays, Bosh leaves, and LeBron leaves too, he's got to know people are going to bash him. Nobody cares about Bosh. People wouldn't give him a second thought.
Yeah. So with the talks about Houston, do you think that would put Houston in the immediate contender position?
They're the best team in the West, right? Because, I mean, I don't know.
That's that perfect stretch for a compliment to Dwight Howard.
Exactly. And I heard that there's some sort of like leeway they can have to where they can keep Parsons still. And if that's the case, and you have Beverly, Harden, Parsons, Bosh, Howard.
Their main thing, I think, is they needed to get rid of Lynn and Ashik. They got rid of Ashik to New Orleans.
And Lynn, there's plenty of takers for Lynn. So, I mean, I don't see how they can't just keep that 5 together. Their bench might be lacking, but they got their core.
That's true. And speaking of cap space, one of the other big names in free agency is Carmelo Anthony.
Okay.
Have you heard about the potential trade between the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers?
I haven't heard that one.
I just read it this morning. It was on ESPN. It was, I know for a fact it was Amari Stoudemire and Tim Hardaway Jr. to Philadelphia, basically as a cap drop.
Okay.
for including some first round picks to take back some smaller contracts. If New York can clear that cap space, obviously they want to re-sign Carmelo. Can that be a possible landing spot for LeBron James?
No way, man.
Big market. They keep talking about how LeBron and Carmelo want to play together. You're talking about you get Amari's contract off the books. That's your second max player right there. You're giving up, in my opinion, the best young talent they have in Tim Hardaway Jr.
Man, yeah, that's stupid. That's really dumb. He's not even costing them anything.
But you're getting rid of Amari's contract, which is
that's
the issue.
probably worth it.
I mean, New York messed up signing that contract as well as trading for Gallinari. Or was it Gallinari? Or was it who's their big man? Their stretch forward. Bargnani that they signed. So.
Man, I mean.
Bruh.
I don't know. I mean, they do need more help than just him and Melo. That's for sure. I mean, they got rid of Tyson Chandler, so like there's no big men anymore. I don't think so. I don't see that. I mean, that might help them keep Carmelo, and then get some nice pieces. But get LeBron.
So you get, if you get rid of Tyson, or if you get rid of Tyson Chandler, you get rid of Amari. You're gonna try to get Powell. That's another big name that has been surfacing with the New York Knicks. What other players on the market can they really get this year? Because Carmelo wants to win.
There's not many they can get like Chandler Parsons.
Because you got to think, they're not going to go back for Linsanity. They traded him to Houston originally. They're not going to go after Lowry anymore. He re-signed with the Raptors.
Okay.
Those are the two big point guard names. We took off in a lot of people's books, the third or fourth best point guard off the draft or off the boards in Sean Livingston. Who else? They traded away Raymond Felton. Who is going to be the person handling the ball for the New York Knicks next season?
Somebody off the street, basically. I mean, everything if they get rid of him, everything they have is going to be free agent acquisitions, randoms. I mean, draft picks. Seriously, I mean, they don't have really any options at all. I mean, who did they get back when they traded Felton?
They got back.
I think they filled that void.
Shane Larkin.
Yeah.
He's one of those.
He's young.
Guards,
He's nice. I mean, he's probably better than Felton than anybody is. But I honestly don't even think that's. I don't even think the Knicks are ever concerned. They might be able to pick up Parsons and maybe they could. I don't even think they have the assets to get a Hibbert. I mean, I heard that they're shopping him.
Can they? Oh, another name we haven't really talked about. Can the Knicks, if they get rid of that Amari contract, can they sign someone like Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, that could be their point guard.
I mean, if you're thinking of...
And he fits that mold perfectly.
You're thinking, in my opinion, I don't know who their five would be. You might put Bargnani at the five, but you're thinking Isaiah Thomas, either Shumpert or Hardaway at the two, Melo at the three, Powell at the four. That is a team that can compete in the West. I mean, I'm not talking, first or second seed, but they can get a fourth seed.
I keep forgetting that they have Phil Jackson. That's the difference maker.
Exactly.
Really. But,
you're someone like Isaiah Thomas who's making less than $1 million for the past 4 years because you're on that second round non-guaranteed rookie contract. This is your first payday. If the New York Knicks come knocking at your door, and we all know that Sacramento doesn't have that much money to match, that would be a good position for Isaiah to go to. He's an attacking point guard. He's the athleticism that they didn't have with Raymond Felton.
I just don't know who's offering him money. I haven't heard anything about him for some reason. He's one of the bigger names out there. Or, hey, what if they can get Bledsoe?
That is another team.
That's huge also. Anyways, man, I think the Knicks are just. I mean, I think Phil helps them just get rid of all the baggage, but I don't think he makes them a contender. I just, not right now. I mean,
not in this year. I mean, just like the Lakers, they're not going to be this year. They're not going to be chasing the title. But within the next 2, maybe 3 years, I think Phil Jackson at the Knicks is going to do positive compared to what the last.
If you can get rid of Amari, that's the most positive you can possibly do. That's huge.
So next topic we're going to talk about.
Well, there's a few. And we kind of mentioned Melo to LA or New York. Or we're also wondering, should Bosh take that offer in Houston? I think it's a no-brainer. I think he has to. He's going to get a max contract.
Other than someone like a young Dirk Nowitzki, that would be the perfect complement to somebody like Dwight Howard, who doesn't have a mid-range jump shot, who's still learning a low-post scoring game. He's a defensive stopper that'll put up 15 to 20 points because he gets fouled so much.
If he doesn't know for sure that LeBron's not coming back, or is coming
that's
back
your
or not,
best.
then he's got to go.
You can have more rings than LeBron if you go to Houston.
Yeah.
You'll be in a position with, I mean, in our opinions, we feel like both of the players are overrated, and Dwight Howard and James Harden, at least my opinion.
Yeah, I think they are, but I think
That's a good big three.
yeah, they can definitely use some help. I mean, I mean, this Harden needs to focus on defense. I mean, there's pretty boy ball out there. That's all. That's what I think. That him and Parsons, like, it's just a bunch of pretty boy ball. They don't play that rough, aggressive. Nobody's diving on the floor or anything.
I mean, we're like the pretty boys of the NBA blog world.
Exactly. I mean, we both got like what $30,000 glasses on.
Yeah. I mean, mine are only Oakleys, but
I got Dolce.
yeah. See, he's the pretty one.
Anyway, so let's talk about our hometown team. We're both diehard Warriors fans.
We're from the Bay Area, so we're not no bandwagon. Don't worry, we were there for We Believe. We were there for Run TNT.
Yeah, let's throw that out
We
there.
were just in diapers.
When Baron Davis was banging out on Karolinko, we were there for that. So something happened that we found out about that, I mean, I'm pretty upset about. But I actually found out this happened early.
Pre-draft.
Yeah, pre-draft. So I guess it's not such a big deal. But the Warriors tried to trade Barnes and a first rounder for Aaron Aflalo. So
No, it was the other way around.
You sure?
Yes. What I've read is it was Barnes to Orlando.
We get a first also.
We get a future first rounder, probably a 15 or 16, and a Flalo.
Okay, that's just more frustrating then. And so
Being our home team, you know, that's a team that we root for. It's hard for us. We love Barnes his rookie year. I personally think that with Kerr's system, if we do keep him, he is going to improve. But it's a waste of talent because we went out and signed Andre Iguodala.
It's an automatic 20-point scorer, lockdown defender. Anyways, so yes, you automatically get a 20-point lockdown defender, and then like Ryan was saying,
it would easy the transition for what most Warrior fans right now, and that is trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love.
Yeah, that would ease the pain.
You have your new starting two guard in Aaron Aflalo, who can lock down the opponent. Not lock down, but he can guard the opponent's point guard, just like Klay Thompson was doing. You're looking at the West. You're looking at, you know, Dragic and Bledsoe in Phoenix. You're looking at Chris Paul,
Harden.
You're looking at James Harden. You're looking at Tony Parker. You're looking.
It
The
goes-
West is stacked.
it's
Everybody.
yeah.
If you're an NBA fan, you know the West is stacked. And for us as Warrior fans, we want the Warriors to win a championship while we live.
Yeah. Which is a long shot, but I mean, it's definitely knowing what we're capable of now with possibly getting Kevin Love with, you know, passing on a huge pickup in Aaron Aflalo, borderline All-Star. I mean, that wouldn't have been so far-fetched to think about. And it's hard to know that we passed up on something like that. But I don't know. I definitely think that we still have to pull the trigger on this Kevin Love trade. I think we're at least like right there on agreeing with it. I know Clay's big, but I think we agree that the ceiling is there already.
What is our max offer to Minnesota now? I mean, me and Marty both think that if a trade's going to happen, it's going to happen before the 10th. That's when the Warriors trade player exception expires, and it's a $9.8 million or no, $12 million.
Yeah.
$12 million TPE, where we can absorb a player's contract of up to $12 million and not have to worry about our cap space this year. The Warriors don't have much cap space to play with, especially since we since we used our mid-level to sign Sean Livingston. Would you, you know, both as a Homer fan and trying to think like a GM, would you do Harrison, Clay, David Lee, and a future first for Kevin Love, and they want us to take back someone like JJ Barea or Kevin Love?
Nah, I don't think you can give up Harrison. I mean, he's going to take over a starting spot. He has to fill a void. I think the trade as is fine. And it was Clay Lee first rounder for Kevin Martin and Kevin Love. I think that's perfectly fine. Throwing in Barnes. I mean, we already got our backup point guard, so we don't need a Barea.
1-2, backup 1 and 2. He has the size where he could play 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think the trade as is just they're just waiting to see who folds first because there's no better offers. That's why he's not being mentioned with any other teams but the Warriors. So
Flip Saunders is saying he can sit on Kevin Love. He thinks, you know, since he's coached the Wolves before, he can bring them back to playoff contention. But Kevin Love has clearly stated, I want to win.
Hey, 7 years. I mean, he's waited long enough. His loyalty is there. He let him, you know, he took a contract he gave him a second chance, and they still haven't fallen through. So to think that flips on, just gonna flip all that around. No pun intended. There's no chance. Yeah, no chance. But
do we hear any big names starting to change teams this year?
Big names?
Yeah. You got to think. I mean, ESPN has a
Melo 100% changing teams over.
You don't think you think he's leaving New York 100%?
I think he's going to LA unless that Amari Stoudemire does make it interesting. No, I mean every time I think something's gonna fall through for sure, things happen day by day. So I mean that's why it's good to make one of these videos, because I mean there's so many updates. And yeah, I mean I don't know, even Pau Gasol, I mean like there was no reason for him to want to stay in LA. And now I mean Melo looks like he's definitely gonna be over there.
And then that means I mean a lot of reports are saying that Pau Gasol is going wherever Carmelo's going.
Yeah. Or LeBron.
Or LeBron. You know, I don't think he'll take a minimum offer from Miami just to play in Miami, because Pau knows he can still get as little as the full mid-level.
He can get at least 50 to 60.
So this is Pau's probably last contract. He's probably looking for length over dollar, over initial dollar. You know, if you're offering him 4 years at $9 million each, or 3 years at $10 million each, he's probably gonna take the longer contract.
Well, yeah, he has to do what's best for him in the long run, but man, I don't know. It's interesting, man. I think I just really want to see what LeBron's gonna do. I think the same thing with everybody.
We've been talking. He's the main domino.
He's going to Cleveland, man. That's what I'm saying.
And if he goes to Cleveland, does that put Cleveland automatically in title contention?
Oh yeah, of course it does. I mean, there's too much young talent around them for them not to be. And the East is so weak. I mean, especially Miami's not going to be a team anymore. It's going to be Indy, and Indy's looking like they're falling apart. They're quietly shopping Hibbert. Lance is out the door. I mean, they got Paul George. He's not carrying a team.
Paul George and David West isn't that impact player anymore.
Yeah, he's a year older now. Yeah. I mean, I mean, they're going to be the best team in the East, off top, just right away.
You think of Kyrie Irving, who's getting a max contract. Do you think that was bound to happen?
Yeah, but I think now, in hindsight, it's probably going to be a mistake if LeBron comes, because then they could have gotten more pieces. If he would have taken like 80 instead of 96, then you're talking about, you know, pulling in a nice power forward option or more bench tools. You know, they're probably going to regret that in the end. But think about it. He got this team 66 wins without Kyrie, without Wiggins, without
Delonte West and Mo Williams.
Yeah, as their second best players. And who do they have? John Young, Marshall. We're talking.
They're going to keep Anderson Varejao. That's one player that they want to keep if LeBron's coming, because they were teammates before.
He's an impact player I mean,
he's a defensive player.
He'll give you 100% every single game. That's a guy every team needs. But that's my prediction. I think he's going there. I think Boston's going to go to Houston. D-Wade's going to sit back and play half the games this year and make his money in Miami.
In Miami still?
Yeah. He's not leaving. There's no reason for him to leave. He doesn't have any other better options unless he goes to San Antonio. I mean, but he's not.
He's not the three-point shooter that matters.
And that's all they need there. They need shooting. But yeah, I think those are the main topics to be talked about for this week. But of course, there'll be more updates within the next week. So
next week we are going to NBA Summer League. We do live here in Las Vegas, so we'll be bringing the camera. We'll be trying to get as many questions with as many players as we can. If you're in Vegas, send us a comment on our YouTube page. Maybe you can join us on camera, give your thoughts of what we talk about. Maybe you have your own thoughts. But we will be at Summer League hopefully Monday for sure.
There's 2 Mondays.
First days,
Two Mondays.
We're going to try to go to the championship as well. Yeah. As well as Team USA will be coming to Vegas, so we are definitely going to try to go to that. If you have any questions, you want us to talk about your team, leave it in the comments. Send us a message on Instagram or on YouTube. And let us know if there's anything else you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah, and please critique us. I mean, we want it. We want all the feedback. You know, we know we're just starting out, so you know, any user feedback, anything you can let us know, please do. We want to become the best we can. So, thanks a lot for watching.